Facebook, Instagram, magazines, cinemas, and poster. So we had a lot of difficulties in the last couple of weeks, but there are still ways we can promote, or the brands and the shops can promote their products. This is still possible, thanks God. Yeah, good news. Shops are nationwide open under hygiene requirements from the government. This was also a case that some shops in different states were closed completely, and then they were, in some states, they were allowed to open for only 1, 2, or 3 days a week, for a couple of hours only. It was very strict, but now they are open under special requirements. I can tell you later more about the requirements. The shops are now open mostly in Germany. Yeah. So, stock and delivery. This was indeed a big problem after COVID-19 broke out in China, and even months later until up to now. There were many wholesalers have stock and delivery problems since the COVID-19 outbreak mid-January. This was indeed, I spoke to some wholesaler, and they told me it was really difficult. You didn't get any coils, for example. You see in the second part, inventory stocks are partially exhausted. For example, coils are not available. This was really a big problem. And not only that you have the problem with the stock, there were also no flights from China out. It was no passenger flights. There were only a couple of cargo flights available. This means there were very limited space on the cargo planes, difficult for our branch as well, because our branch and other branches are preferred with the freight. And the following of this is that the freight charges are immensely. So it's very high freight charges the manufacturers has to pay, the wholesaler as well, of course, here in Germany. So we go to the third point. We can show you a little bit something about the trends and the future here of vaping. In consideration in the outbreak or post-outbreak here. 1 second, I need to be ready. So I think this slide is also interesting for the people in China, also for the branch. Why we are so positive is you see the numbers here, that from 2010 on up to 2020 and to 2025, also the main task of the e-cigarette industry worldwide will continue to be to provide information and education to help smokers to switch to the significantly less harmful e-cigarette. Of course, this is our main job, our main focus here. The smokers are our target, and we need to work and to go after the smoker and to inform them about the e-cigarette. Yeah. You see the numbers here. In 2010, there were 20 million smokers in Germany, and the numbers decreased. Now we have 16 or 17.5 this year, and we expect less smokers in the next couple of years. And the number of vapers, it's rising and rising. And despite a lot of crisis and the media bashings and whatever we had in the past, we are still working on that, and we still more and more people see that the e-cigarette is a very helpful product for them to quit smoking. And the conclusion to this is the e-cigarette has enormous potential in Germany and is so far being exhausted. We still firmly believe that the number of e-cigarette users will continue to rise sharply, especially if the media would report truthfully in future. Yeah, this is of course the main thing, that the media must play fair and don't tell lies. We think we have to stay hardworking for the future and attentive. And as I mentioned, we believe in the product e-cigarette. Some low changes, maybe a short overview. The advertising ban. Advertising ban is something that it's been discussed. It's a ban on tobacco advertising. There is a plan. You can see here the years from January 21 up to January 2024. what the government is really planning. But we will say that this is not fixed at the moment. This is about things the government is speaking also with the European Union. Yeah, there was no decision made up to now, and we will see. There is a draft. This is the draft of the federal government here in Germany, and it was already submitted to the EU. And but as I said, until now we don't have any decision on this advertising ban. Interesting here, maybe. I see there is a fault. I'm sorry about that. In January 24 is advertising ban on e-cigarettes, not on HNB. This is a fault from us. I'm sorry about it. So the next changes we expect, but not now, but in the middle future is the TPD3, the Tobacco Products Directive. We expect some changes here. The last stand was February 2020. I mentioned here a couple of points which could be possible that they will be changed. And you see nicotine containing and nicotine-free products should be considered on a legal basis. Accordingly, liquids that do not contain nicotine are added to the tobacco product law. Then, as I mentioned, the ban on advertising also apply to nicotine-free liquids, such as to nicotine-containing products. This is also a point. Free liquids and e-cigarettes from manufacturers outside of business premises may no longer be provided. This means that manufacturers no longer have products such be made by available to YouTuber, for example. So this is also a very interesting point, difficult. And then e-cigarettes as well as accessories or tobacco products, refill containers, which will be raffled off in a competition, should be also prohibited. You see a lot of changes. More and more is being forbidden, or they want to forbid more and more what we can use up to now. This is very helpful for our branch until now, but in future they want to cut this as well. And I mentioned also some positive things, not to stay only negative and be negative. The warnings only have to be on the product if it actually contains nicotine. This will no longer be necessary for nicotine-free products and e-cigarettes. The 10 milliliter quantity limit should continue to apply only to nicotine liquids. And the last point, bases will continue to be available in large quantities. This is also for a vapor and for the people here in Germany, very, very helpful as well. 3.4, most popular vape devices. We speak about, you asked about the vape device, about the vapors in Germany, what they like, what they don't like. I mentioned here in generally, we have balanced relationship here in Germany because the requirements of the vapors are very broad. Yeah? Direct to lung, mouth to lung pod systems. The demand is there, and Germany has enormous potential. We saw the numbers, smokers, vapors. So we see that we have in future around about 4 to 5 million vapors in the next years, and there is still a long way to go. There are still 15 million smokers, so that's why we see the potential there here in Germany. The German market is very fast moving. So far, one trend is replacing the next. The German vapors are known for high-end science. They are known for make clouds for big heavy devices in the past. Yeah, and now this is a little bit changing now. The current trend is MTL, regulated and refillable, reusable, and also pod systems. Pod systems was not that not in the focus until 2019, I would say, but now 2020. It's becoming more and more also here famous, and the people love it more and more because it's a small device, of course, and you can have it in your pocket. And this will also disposable pods or refillable pods. This is it. I'm ready. I talked a lot and fast to be finished in time. Let me stop this here.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Iraq. You can stop the
Can stop it?
sharing.
Yes,
Yeah,
one
you can
second.
start the sharing for the presentation.
Oh, one second. Ich kann nicht drauf. Ich komme nicht drauf mit der Maus.
Geh mal auf die Präsentation nochmal.
One second. So. I stopped it now. Okay.
Okay, so as usual, it turns to our Q&A section because I receiving so many questions for you here, so many questions regarding to the Germany market. So, Ira, could you please also click the Q&A to see clearly for yourself for the questions here?
The Q&A.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Do you have a certain question here?
Yeah, I can see Cloris has asked you what are the main tasks for the
For the what? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sorry. What are the main tasks of the German Vape Association at the moment and in the future? And
yes. Okay. Yes, I saw it now at this point. You're right. As I mentioned in the presentation, the German Vape Associations, we have two here, two strong associations, are very important for the German market. With Michael Dobrach and Dustin Dahlmann, they're doing both a really great job. This changed in the last year, in the last 2 years, I would say, maybe in 2019, especially then. So they are our workers. They are the link between the members and the politicians, about between the scene and the politicians, not only Germany but also in the European Union in Brussels. So they fight for us. They defend our interests of the branch, and they daily are in the front line for us. For example, during COVID-19, they have campaigned with the state government to ensure that e-cigarettes are recognized as a basic requirement and that businesses are allowed to open. This is a very important point. So as I mentioned, the shops were closed, and the vape associations fight a lot to allow to reopen the shops, because it is important to the people. They are vaping, they are addicted to nicotine, and that's why it was so important. And this was very helpful. So as I told you, after 2 or 3 weeks, then it was better, and the shops are opened, and now they are fully open. So furthermore, they are currently providing assistance for hygiene concepts. It was also important. When shops were closed, they support a lot how the shops can assure that it's safe for the people to go to the vape stores and buy their stuff. Yeah. And of course, they have also influence on legislation. This is very important. They discuss with the politicians, and they have been heard. It's difficult for them, I understand fully. But yeah, and their main task, of course, is the prevention of further sanctions like a flavor ban or taxes. They fight for this, which is very important for the German market here. Yeah.
yeah,
And furthermore, they're improving opportunities for dealers and manufacturers. So it's really good. We are very happy that we have two strong vape associations, and that's why we are a member in both. Yeah, we pay a lot of money also to be member, and we are thankful that they allow us to be a member, which give us a very good insight what they are doing and in the work they are doing.
Okay.
I want to say something, Carlos, more, that if any Chinese companies, I know the Chinese companies ask my wife and me a lot of if there is German vape associations, if they have any ask or any questions, they can contact us, please. We send a lot of Chinese companies to the associations, and we inform them a lot about the German association. Thank you.
Okay, so I will leave the contacts of Ira in our following promotions after view of our webinar. So you guys, if you want to contact with Ira, you can come to our website to follow up all the info. And due to time limits, so I'm gonna have to ask you to put you on the best stage, Ira. Thank you so much for the outstanding performance.
Thank you for your invitation. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you.
The whole team. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. So I guess all of you more or less have gained the overview of the whole Germany vape market. So let's get to our next step. Our third guest is Patrick, the president of the Vape Expo France, who has 40 years of experience in the Vape exhibitions and also is the president of the Vape Expo France with 12 editions history. So let's welcome our third guest, Patrick. Lisa, could you please put on Patrick with us?
Hello.
Hello, Patrick. ¿Cómo ça va?
Yes, ça va. Thank you.
This is the only French that I can speak. Okay, nice to talk to you. So,
Thank you for invitation.
could you demonstrate to us what is the current French vape markets during the outbreak of COVID-19?
Okay. So for first, thank you for invitation. It's a good opportunity for me to
yeah, and we
review. Oh yes, I can share my PPT. It's okay. I fix it.
Okay, so Lisa, would you please let Patrick to take hold of his presentation?
Yes. Up. You see?
Okay, perfect. We can see it. Yeah, we can see it perfectly.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna head over the webinar to you.
Yes. So thank you, welcome, and hello, say hello to the China brand, and so I'm very excited to make this review. And thank you very much for all. It's very important for us. So we start to speak about Vape Expo in France. So we have the date, and it's in October 25-26, 2020, and it will be only B2B trade show. And because in France we have a lot of vape shop and a lot of professionals want to come to